Yeah. All right. Waiting for YouTube Studio to wake up. All right. Okay, now it doesn't want to freaking work for me now. What is YouTube Studio even up to? YouTube Studio is always trolling me. All right, we're good, guys. What's going on? Crazy Dog back with another NFL live stream for you guys. And with the 53-man rosters now official, it's time to give you guys my legit 2023-2024 record predictions for the entire NFL. Now, you remember last year, I'm sure you guys that are watching this on replay or whatever, maybe you're tuning in live. If you're tuning in live, shout out to you. I mean, it's almost 10 a.m. Why am I doing this so early? Getting it out of the way, pretty much. But anyways, if you remember last year, I did these predictions a little different, if you recall, because I had no internet. So I had to do it the old-fashioned way, using a text file, using actual text and writing it out myself. But this year, everything is good, so I get to utilize a website. And the website I'll be utilizing is playoffpredictors.com. Pretty dope-ass website. And we love it. We absolutely freaking love it. So with that being said, we're going to jump right in. Now, how am I going to do this? You may be wondering. I'm going to do it by division. Not only that, I'm going to do it in order of how the divisions were eliminated or whatever in the playoffs. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to pull up the bracket for the playoffs. NFL 2023 playoffs. 2022 playoffs. Yeah. I'm going to do it in order. So obviously, leading off, we're going to have the AFC West. Now, of course, I'm going to do the Browns first because that's my team. Might as well. Let's do my team first. So we're going to start off with my team, and then I'm going to do the AFC West in order of how the division went. Cool thing about this website is it keeps track of the records of all the teams. So by the end, I'm really going to have no work to do because all the other spots are going to be filled. So obviously, we're going to start off with the AFC West. Then we're going to go NFC East. Then we're going to go NFC West, AFC North. And then we're going to have the South divisions wrap it up. All right? So with that being said, let me do a quick check of my phone, make sure I didn't miss anything. And I didn't. Let's get right into this sucker, shall we? So what I'm going to do here is I was going to pull up the thing, but I literally just went through everything there. So I don't really think I need to do that now. So anyways, yeah, it's going to give me trouble. I'll just do it like that. Okay. So we're going to start off, of course, with my Cleveland Browns. So I pulled up the schedule. Booyah. Yeah. And now let me make myself small so we can see and, go through everything together. I'll put myself right in front of the NFC North. Gotta love it. Oh, yeah. So anyways, let's get started with the Cleveland Browns. Yeah. So week 1, of course, next Sunday already. Can't believe it. We got the Bungles. Oh boy, at home. Home opener. Crazy Dog, you guys usually stink during home openers, week 1. According to Dashy, well, yeah, we're going to beat you because you haven't won at home week 1 in like 50 years. And, you usually suck against us week 1. Because, history really has a factor in this game, right? Even though we've been whooping their ass at home for the last 5 years, we've literally beat their asses at our crib the last 5 years. So I don't see that stopping anytime soon, especially with our revamped defense and a rejuvenated Deshaun with a very good offense, by the way. Give me the Browns week 1. Yeah. Week 2, we go to Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's been a house of horrors for us for years. We have won there, 3 times this millennium? Twice? Yeah, twice. Yeah, we whooped their ass in 2003 with Kelly Holcomb or something at quarterback. One of those guys. And then 2020. So unfortunately, I have the Steelers beating us. Yeah, we're up high after beating the Bungles and then, but don't worry, guys. I got us rebounding. Beating the crap out of the Titans at home. And then we beat the Ravens at home because, just like the Bungles, we've had a lot of success against the Ravens at home as of late. If you really think about it. Now, of course, you could say, oh, crazy dog. The last time you faced the Ravens, the last 2 times you faced them at home, they didn't have Lamar. Well, that's what's going to make this one even better, because they're going to have Lamar, and we're going to beat them. Yeah. Then we have our bye week. Extremely early bye week. And then we host the Niners. Now, sorry, Rocha. I know you're probably not watching this. You're in Texas, so you're going to Texas at this point. I think you might be in Texas by now. But I got the Browns winning. Not even being biased. I think we can beat the Niners. That travel is going to be tough. Jet lag might get them a little bit. But I got us beating the Niners. And then we go to Indy on my birthday, and they give me a nice little birthday present, beating the crap out of the little old Colts. So just like that, we're 5-1 to start. But then we head out west to Seattle, and we lose. We rebound, beating the Cardinals because they are going to be the absolute worst team in the NFL this year. Bar none. Do I have to show you their roster? Do I have to show you their roster? You know what? I'm showing the roster. I'm gonna take a little detour here, guys. Let's look at this god-awful roster that the Cardinals have. My God. If the Cardinals manage to win anywhere near 5 games this year, I will be shocked. Now, keep in mind, Kyler should be back soon. But look at this freaking roster. Look at this. Look at it. I want all of you to look at it. Let's go through this stuff, all right? This is their projected starting line for you. He's a great backup. Will Hernandez and Paris Johnson. My guy, Buckeye, baby. Yeah. That offensive line, I said this before. This team is giving me major 2016, 2017 Browns vibes. Just look at those rosters back then. Look at the team that we had back then. Compare it to this team. Yes. Now at tight end, they have Zach Ertz, but will he be ready to go? I heard rumors he might not play week 1. And they play the Commanders. Ooh. Their receiving core actually isn't ass. It's just barely above ass. It's not great. You have Hollywood Brown, Zach Pascal, Rondale Moore, who's actually a stud, Michael Wilson, and Greg Dortch. What? This team ain't going to win nothing this year, man. My God. And then you look at their defense. Alja Collier, Leki Fotu, Jonathan Ledbetter, Zaven Collins, Chris Barnes, Kaiser White, Dennis Gardeck. Ouch. Marco Wilson, Buda Baker. How is he still there? Boy, Buddha got that Joe Thomas thing going on up here, man. He got that Joe Thomas syndrome. His loyalty is top notch. I would have been like, come out of here. Isaiah Simmons, he's out of there. He's in New York now. He's with an actual good team. I bet you Buddha Baker will be traded by the deadline. I would not be shocked. He'll experience like 5 heartbreaking losses and he'll be like, I'm out of here. For real. Jalen Thompson, Kytrell Clark, Antonio Hamilton. Dude, besides Buddha and maybe Marco, that secondary is butter. Special teams, Matt Prater, Nolan Cooney. Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, this team is so bad. Just thought I'd say that real quick. So I have us taking care of them really easily. Although by the time we play them, Kyler could be back. Oh, Kyler gonna save the day. To be fair, Kyler alone might win them like 2 or 3 games. Just him alone. But remember, coming off an ACL, is he gonna be as eager to run around like a little child, on the playground? Probably not. He's gonna try to protect himself. Which is bad news when you got to face Myles Garrett and Za'Darius Smith with Shelby Miller and Dalvin Tomlinson coming at you from the middle. And oh yeah, by the way, Mo Hurst is back. He officially re-signed today. So yeah, belly rubs are back, baby. Oh yeah. And not to mention our secondary is also top notch. As long as Mr. Concussion can protect himself. Talking about Denzel Ward, of course. Yeah. That's the only thing about it. Can Denzel avoid major injury? Besides, the concussions are just. He's gonna be known as Captain Concussion. He's gonna be Captain Brain Mush. He's got super mush brain. He's got Tito brain. So yeah, we beat the Cardinals, and then as usual, we lose to the Ravens on the road because that's what we do. We split with pretty much almost every team in the AFC North. Steelers at home, you know what we do. We take care of business. Go to Denver. This is going to be a tough one. Russell Wilson, Sean Payton, I'm sure they'll be humming by now. I have us going there and losing. We don't usually win there. Although we did beat them with Greg Williams and Baker Mayfield, but that team was beyond garbage. So I think they'll get us. Yeah. It'll be a very fun game. It'll be close, but I have them beating us. Then we go to LA to face the Rams. Somehow, some way, we're going to lose this game. Most likely. Then we face the Jaguars at home. Jaguars are going to be a solid team, but I think Deshaun Watson gets the job done, and we squeak one past them. 15, we have the Bears coming to town, and I'm sure Justin Fields still remembers what happened a couple years ago, the first time we played them. I'm pretty sure he still has nightmares of Myles Garrett in the backfield. Now, luckily for the Bears, they have a much better offensive line, very good weapons, good team all around. I just don't see them really on our level yet. I think our defense will get after Justin Fields again. Justin will have PTSD. He'll see Myles Garrett coming around the corner, and he'll shrivel. He'll like hunker down like he's in the fetal position because he remembers what happened last time. So yeah, I got us beating the Bears. Then we beat the Texans because, of course. And then on Thursday night, we host the Jets. And I think this is going to be the most blatant case of ref ball ever. And the Jets beat us because they have Aaron Rodgers. And the refs are going to coddle him somehow. And yeah. So that means they would have actually beaten us, 3 straight times? Don't worry, guys. Week 18, I got us beating the Bengals again. Yeah, I got us sweeping the Bengals again. So we finished with 11-6. Oh yeah, I'm surprised Crazy Dog doesn't have him going 13-4 or something. I mean, there's a couple games that we could win. There's also games that we could lose. I'm thinking about how this team usually does in these situations. I mean, they could beat the Rams. They could beat the Broncos. They could also lose to teams like the Colts and the Titans. They could beat the Jets. They could lose to the Texans. So yeah, I have us going 11-6. Now, with that being said, let's get on with the actual good part of this whole thing. Let's start off with the AFC West, the Kansas City Chiefs. And of course, they play a week from today against the Lions. Thursday Night Football. It'll be a banger. But unfortunately, I got the Chiefs winning. Unfortunately for Lions fans, of course. So, week 2, they go to Jacksonville. This could be a trap. But I got the Chiefs winning. Week 3, they host the Bears. Bears are going to put up a fight, but unfortunately, Chiefs win. But they go to Meadowlands the next week. They face Aaron Rodgers. And somehow, Aaron Rodgers gets that dub. They give the Chiefs their first L of the year. They respond by beating the Vikings, beating the Broncos at home, beating the Chargers, but then losing to the Broncos on the road. They go to Germany. And they squeak one out against the Dolphins. They're 7-2 right now. Then they have their bye. Then you have the biggest game of, arguably one of the biggest games of the year. The rematch of the Super Bowl. Not on a slippery surface, though. This will be in Arrowhead. Eagles coming to town. Of course, they completely changed their coordinator staff. Gannon and Steichen are gone. Desai is in there now. So we'll see how Desai does against Mahomes, who just lost his offensive coordinator. Bieniemy is no longer there. Matt Nagy's now the guy over there. Got the Eagles getting their revenge. Give me the Eagles getting that revenge. Oh, yeah. But then, of course, they will rattle off a couple more victories, beating the Raiders on the road, beating the Packers. Then they have the rematch. Actually, no, not the rematch, but this should have been the AFC title game, low-key. Yeah. Bills, Chiefs, the title game that should have been last year. But the Bills floundered against the Bengals. Ouch. I got the Chiefs beating the Bills again. And then they go and beat the Patriots on the road. They smack the Raiders, but then they lose to their new daddies in the Bengals again. Because they can't beat them in the regular season for some reason. Burrow continues to whip it out and smack Mahomes with it, if you know what I'm talking about. And then they end their season with a big W. No, actually, they're going to lose to the Chargers. They're going to lose. So they're going to go 12-5. Yeah, 12-5 for the Chiefs. Now, we're going to go to the team that finished in second. Let me actually pull it up real quick here, guys. I got to pull this up real quick. Sorry about this. All right. Let me pull up the standings. 2020. Oh, come on now. There you go. There you go. NFL standings. Yeah. Of course, I'm going to start off with the division winner. Let's go to division standings. All right. So while we wait for that to load up, check the phone real quick, make sure nothing's happening. And yeah, so here we go. So we got AFC West, the Chargers. Give me the Chargers. Almost forgot they made the playoffs. That's right. I streamed that game with my guy JB Taylor. Watched them choke. So we got the Chargers next. Week 1, they host the Dolphins. I remember draft day 2020. Or 2019. Yeah, was it 2019, excuse me. 2019. Right? Or was it 2020? I literally forgot. I don't even really care. You remember draft day, Herbert and Tua, that whole thing. I think it was actually 2020. Yeah. Herbert and Tua. That was interesting, to say the least. That whole discussion between those two fan bases. Because when you follow them on Twitter, I do follow quite a few Dolphins and Chargers fans on Twitter. they were going at it a little bit, who should get who. And so far, I think Justin Herbert's been slightly better because he's actually been in the playoffs. Now, he didn't win a playoff game, but they were that close. Yeah. Yeah, week 1, I got the Chargers beating the Dolphins. Week 2, I got them losing to the Titans because, of course, they would. Week 3, they face the Vikings coming off a mini bye. And I got Jay Jet and Kirko beating the Chargers. Damn, starting 1 and 2. They rebound beating the Raiders. They lose to the Cowboys. They lose to the Chiefs. They lose to the Bears because, of course, they lose to the Jets. They somehow beat the Lions. And then the Packers on the road. Yeah. They lose to the Ravens. Then they face the Patriots. They beat them. They lose to Russ. And then they lose to the Raiders on Thursday night, short week. On the road, too. Then they lose to the Bills. They get their comeback against the Broncos. They get that their lick back, and then they beat the Chiefs. So I have them going 7 and 10. I'm sure a lot of people go, "Oh, you're a hater. What is this prediction?" It's a prediction. I'm thinking typical Chargers. Their luck is not going to be there this year, in my opinion. I don't know. Maybe the football gods threw them a bone like they did with us. They threw them a bone and say, "Hey, here's a playoff berth." But then they blew a freaking lead in the damn playoff game. A big lead. What was it, like 27-7 or something like that? That's Browns level. Oh. And I have that vibe following them into the season. They go 5 and 2 against teams with losing records, but then they go 2 and 8 against teams with winning records. Ouch. 3 and 3 in their division. They go 7 and 10 overall. So next we're gonna go to the Raiders. So let's get to the Raiders now. They faced the Broncos week 1 on the road. And Russ going to get that dub to start off their season. Then they lose to the Bills. But then they beat the Steelers because they don't lose to the Steelers at home. They lose to the Chargers. They beat the Packers. They beat the Patriots again. But then they lose to the Bears. They lose to the Lions. Lose to the Giants. They lose to the Jets. They beat the Dolphins. They lose to the Chiefs. Bye week. They lose to Kirko again. Or not again, but they lose to the Vikings. Because that Vikings team's going to be pretty good, I feel like. Actually, you know what? No, I'm gonna have them beating the Vikings. They beat the Chargers. They lose to the Chiefs. They beat the Colts. Then they beat the Broncos at the end of the year. They go 8-9. Now this is with Jimmy G. They could very well go, I think their ceiling is going to be. Oh, be right back, guys. Sorry about that, guys. That was some angry Chargers fans saying I'm a freaking asshole idiot for saying they were going to go 7 and 10. Nah, I'm joking. Freaking telemarketer or something. I hate that. I'm not going to answer for a damn telemarketer. Hell nah. Hell nah. But anyway, so yeah, 8-9 for the Raiders. I'm sure Raiders fans are going to be like, sounds about right. Kind of, yeah. This seems like they could easily win 10 games. Maybe more. My God. I thought I told you to stop calling me. Damn it. Now a damn Raider fan just called me saying, "Shut up! We're not going 8-9." Tell you one thing, that phone could literally be quiet the whole day. And then out of nowhere, bang, boom, boom, beep, boop, bop, beep, beep, boop. Like, stop calling! Damn! I don't want to talk to you. I'm busy. I'm getting stream sniped. But no, 8-9 seems pretty reasonable. They could go as high as like 10 wins and as low as like 7 or 6 wins. Because it's the Raiders. That's what they do. They could easily lose to the Patriots. They could beat the Bears and the Lions. They could beat the Giants. They could even lose to the Colts. You never know. And then to wrap it all up, we have arguably the most disappointing team in the AFC, one of the most disappointing teams in the AFC last year, the Broncos. I have them already up 1-0 in the season. They stay home actually to face Washington, who's not going to be too bad, but make sure my microphone wasn't muted. That would have been awkward. But I have them beating the Commanders and then losing a stunning one to the Dolphins, beating the Bears, and then we get Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers. AFC. This could very well be a playoff matchup if everything goes right, of course. Imagine these two in the playoffs. Oh. And of course, as it says, Green Bay is coming off. Oh no, this is New York. Yeah. I have the Broncos beating the Jets. Yeah, they're going to slip up there. Then they are coming off a mini bye against after Thursday night against the Chiefs. The Packers are coming off a full bye week. So they're both going to be somewhat rested, at least for the most part. I got the Broncos beating Jordan Love. As you can tell, I don't have the Packers being that good this year. They beat the Chiefs, and then they get deflated by losing off the bye week to the Bills. Then they get that good win vibe back, beating the Vikings, beating my Browns, beating the Texans, beating the Chargers. They've won 4 in a row, going to Detroit and losing. Ouch. Then they face New England. Win. I have them going 11-6. This should have been them last year. So, in the playoffs, I have Kansas City and Denver out of the AFC West. Let me know what you think. Yeah, let me know what you guys think. And this is going to be fun. So we're just getting started here. I know I understand why the chat's quiet, because I'm doing this thing extremely early because I want to get this over with, because tonight is college football and I want to be able to enjoy it. So, of course, we start off with the AFC West. Let's go to the runner-up division, the NFC East, led by the Philadelphia Eagles. And they start off their season on the road in New England against Mac Jones. And you already know, they're getting that dub. They're 2-0 already. Then they host the Vikings. Yeah. Home opener. That place is going to be buzzing on Thursday Night Football. The whole nation, or at least part of the nation, is watching, most likely. Sucks this game's on Amazon, but hey, it is what it is. This game would have been a banger on TV, but it is what it is. I got the Eagles still winning. Then they go to Tampa, win, but then they host a team that's been their Achilles heel lately. Last year, the Commanders snapped their little win streak. They were undefeated. They face the Commanders. Commanders beat them. This year, Eagles starting it off with that big dub at home. Then they beat the Rams. They beat the Jets. They beat the Dolphins. But then they lose to the Commanders on the road. Ouch. Then they get that good vibe going again, beating the Cowboys. Heading into their bye, they beat the Chiefs. They go and they smother the Bills. They get that. They face the Niners, who are no doubt looking for revenge. Beat them. But then they lose to the Cowboys. They go to Seattle to face Geno and company. And they're going to lose because it's cross-country travel. And, DK going to do some stuff. Yeah. But then they have that Monday nighter against the Giants, who are no doubt a much better team. This year, they're going to be much improved. And I think the Giants might actually give them a little fight. But it's in Philly. And I got Philly winning that one. They smash their old D coordinator. I mean, this might be a record for biggest win, man. My God, they are going to see that loser on the other sideline and they're going to think, let's show him how we feel about him. Yeah. Corny ass, boy. He's so corny over there in Arizona. My God. And then, because their record is 13-3, they're resting starters, and they lose to the Giants week 18, but they don't care. They go in at 13-4. Best record right now in the NFL. Now let's talk about the team that finished second in the NFC East, and that is the Dallas Cowboys, who are currently 2-1, and they face the Giants on the road week 1. Not even trying to pander to the Cowboys fans that watch my videos that are, subscribed. But yeah, Giants seemingly can't seem to beat the Cowboys. But could that change this year? I don't know. I have the Cowboys winning week 1, though. Yeah. Then they face Aaron Rodgers. They lose. They beat the absolute crap out of the Cardinals. I mean, let's be real. With no Kyler. They beat the Patriots. They lose to the Niners again. They beat the Chargers. They have their bye. They beat the Rams. They lose to the Eagles. They lose to the Giants. They beat little Bryce Young and the Panthers. They beat the Commanders. And then they somehow lose to the Seahawks because that seems like a game that they would lose. They lose a game like that almost every year, feels like. And they have back-to-back Thursday nighters. Wow. That's true, yeah. Coming up to was it Thanksgiving around that time? So yeah. They beat the Eagles. Then they face the Bills and they lose. They beat the Dolphins. Then they somehow lose to the freaking Lions because, again, Lions are a very good team this year. Don't sleep on Detroit. And then, to wrap it up, they are 9-7. Ouch. Wow. Brutal. I'm going to hear it from my Cowboys subscribers. My goodness. Sheesh. And then they beat the Commanders. And, yeah. So, I have them actually sweeping the Commanders. Believe it or not. Although they could easily lose one of those Commanders games. I have them sweeping them. Yeah. I think Commanders actually have a season where they might get Ron Rivera fired. He's going to, Ron Rivera's going to derp around every once in a while, and he's going to lose them some games. Yeah. But Bieniemy is there now, so I don't know how their offense is going to be either. Like, offensive, weapon-wise, they have a nice offense. In fact, let me do what I just did let me do that for the Commanders. I'm actually curious. I want to see what their offense looks like. I know they got Sam Howell at quarterback. They got my guy at TMC, Terry McLaurin. Good running game with Gibson and Robinson in them. But how about the rest of the team? Yeah. So here's the Commanders roster. Oh yeah, Jack Del Rio's their DC. That's right. Remember. Okay. Up front, Nice. That's a decent offensive line for the most part. Leno, Charles, Gates, Cosme, and Wiley. The right side's nice. It's that left side that would concern me. Because I've always heard like Leno kind of stinks. And Charles, eh. But then you look at their weapons. Logan Thomas at tight end. Brian Robinson and Gibson at running back. Receivers are nice with McLaurin, Dotson, Samuel, Byron Pringle, De'Ami Brown. Yeah, they got a nice receiving core. Hi. Defensively is where they're going to really feast or famine. Sweat, Payne, Allen up front. My God, Chase Young, please stay healthy. I beg of you, stay healthy, please. Like, seriously. As a Buckeye fan, I want to see you on the field. Damn. Jamin Davis, Cody Barton. Packers aren't too bad. You look at their secondary, though. Fuller, Curl, Forrest, Forbes, and St. Just. Yeah, that's not a bad secondary. If Chase Young can stay healthy, oh my God, bro. Man, this might actually be good. But it's all about that head coach of theirs. If he is serious for the entire season, they could win some games. Not even lying. They could definitely win some games. So anyways, let's go to the Giants. As you see, I have the Cowboys finishing 10-7. Giants next. They lose to the Cowboys, but then they beat the snot out of the Cardinals. They lose to the Niners on the road. That's a long travel. But then they get that big win against the Seahawks. Then they face the Dolphins. And, yeah, I have 2 on them getting that win. And then they lose to the Bills. But then they beat the Commanders. Then you have the Snoopy Bowl. Regular season version. Week 8. And we saw what Aaron Rodgers was doing, but that was against, most of these some backups. And now, of course, the Giants weren't going full throttle. But now, the Bullets are live. And we're going to get a full 60 minutes of Aaron Rodgers versus Daniel Jones. And I think just based off of that, the Jets are going to win. Yeah, give me Aaron Rodgers and company over the Giants. Yeah, just because of Aaron Rodgers. He's Aaron Rodgers. What are you going to do? But then, they respond by winning 2 straight against the Raiders and Cowboys. Then they face Washington again. And they've had Washington's number for a while. So I got them actually, yeah, they're going to sweep. Yep, they're going to sweep. Then they face the Patriots. They are going to actually beat the Patriots at home. They have their bye. They face the Packers. And as you know, I don't think the Packers are going to be that good this year. Yeah, first year without Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, Giants win. Then they lose to the Saints because that's a game that they would lose. Again, there's a game that they don't really come out looking good. Derek Carr's out here slinging that thing. Thomas and Kamara are rolling. Yeah. And the Terror Dome, give me the Saints to beat the Giants. Then they lose to the Eagles. Then they face the Rams at home, and I got them beating the Rams. And then, of course, ending their season beating the Eagles. And they go 10-7 again. So believe it or not, they're in second place. Tied with the Cowboys, but thanks to tiebreaker, they have that second place. Now let's go to the Commanders. They face the Cardinals week 1, easy dub. Bills, loss. Bears, loss. Falcons, Desmond Ridder. Bijan Robinson. Ooh. Ryan versus Bijan. Ooh. Wait, I already have them as 2-8. Okay, yeah. They're not. Like I said, they're not going to be very good. I think they beat the Falcons though. They lose. They win. They're going to beat the Patriots. Lose to the Seahawks. And then this is where the tailspin happens. They lose to the Dolphins. Then they will lose to the Rams, lose to the Jets, lose to the Niners. and then lose to the Cowboys. And I think it's right there where they fire Ron Rivera. You go 4-13. Ouch. Ouch. I know. Commanders fans, if you're watching this, you're like, ew. Probably going to get a phone call from the Commanders fans saying, we're not even let's go 4-13. We're much improved. But your schedule is brutal. Damn. And like I said, Ron Rivera's going to derp, and you're going to lose some games because of him. Although, if I had to say your ceiling, probably 8 wins, maybe 9. You could beat the Bears, beat the Falcons, beat the Giants, beat the Patriots, beat the Seahawks. But unfortunately, because the Commanders haven't had the best of luck recently, and I think this is what gets Ron Rivera fired. Yeah. I think they finally get rid of Rivera, and they bring in someone who's actually legit because they have a serious owner now who's actually committed to winning. You know, he wants his team to be good. He's not out here just collecting collecting money for himself. I think this is where they dump off Rivera, they bring in a serious head coach, and then next year they take off. How about that, huh? Yeah. I think they could easily win 9 games. Like, in fact, here's their peak, I think. They beat the Bears, they beat the Falcons. I think they still split though. I think they actually split with the Giants. But yeah, I'm gonna actually keep that as is. But yeah, I think they could easily win maybe 7, 8, 9 games if everything goes right. But here, in my prediction, I think it just falls apart low key, and Ron Rivera gets canned. I think it'll be right around this, right around the bye when he gets canned. I mean, after all, you beat the Patriots, you're feeling good, and then it just falls apart. You literally lose 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 straight. If a coach doesn't get fired after losing 8 straight, what are you going to do? Yeah, I think it all falls apart. And they fire Ron Rivera after that. Sorry, Commanders fans. Luckily, it's a prediction. We'll see how it goes. Right? Maybe the Commanders shock the world and come out and win like 10 games this year. I don't know. I also predict that, maybe I think they play well. I'm not saying every game is going to be a blowout, but I just think they lose games because they're facing some tough teams this year. So that's how I have the NFC East going. I have 3 teams right now from the NFC East making the playoffs. Nice. So now, let's get back over to the AFC. We're going to go to the rest of the AFC North. All right, let's go to the AFC North. Starting with the Bungles, of course. I already did the Browns. Now, last year after we beat the Bengals on Halloween, they rattled off they did not lose a single game after we beat them on Halloween until the playoffs, I'm pretty sure. So I have something like that happening again. They beat the Ravens, they beat the Rams, beat the Titans again, beat the Cardinals, beat the Seahawks. Then they have their bye. Then they go to San Fran and they lose. They immediately rebound by beating the Bills, Texans. They lose to the Ravens, beat the Steelers. Then they have a letdown game against the Jags. They beat the Colts, beat the Vikings, beat the Steelers. They sweep the Steelers, which kind of puts a little smile on my face. Then they lose. Then they beat the Chiefs, and then they lose to us again. So, 12-5. Yeah. Then we go to the Ravens. Texans week 1. Dub. They lose to the Bengals. Beat the Colts. Lose to us. Then, I think this is where they get tested here against the Steelers. It's always these two games. These two are always very tough. But with Lamar there, I think they squeak one out on the road. Actually, no, I have the Steelers beating them at home. They go to London. They lose to the Titans somehow. Then they beat the Lions, they beat the Cardinals, and they beat the Seahawks. They beat us, they beat the Bengals, they beat the Chargers. So just like that, they rattle off this massive win streak heading into their bye. They host the Rams, beat them. Then they lose to the Jaguars. They lose to the Niners. They get their revenge on the Dolphins. And then they beat the Steelers to end the season. They go 11-6. But because of tiebreakers, we keep them out of the playoffs. And then you have the Steelers, who are already 2-5. They lose to the Niners week 1, beat us, lose to the Raiders, beat the Texans, beat the Ravens. They go all the way to LA. They show out. They beat the Rams. They lose to the Jaguars because, like many teams, they for some reason cannot beat the Jaguars, even at home. Then they beat the Titans, beat the Packers. They lose 2 straight to the Ohio teams. They rebound by smashing the Cardinals. And then, they go out. They beat the Pats. They beat the Colts. Then they lose to the Seahawks and the Ravens. And they lose it again. Oh my God. Like, again, they do just enough to win 9 games and that's it. Oh man. They keep their streak alive. Oh God, that's funny. I think their ceiling is obviously like 11 wins. But their floor could easily be 7 wins. Oh man, that's fine. So the playoffs look like the Ohio teams would make the playoffs in the AFC North. So it's Ohio teams make it. That's pretty funny. And then we go to the NFC West now with the Niners. They're already 6-2. They smash the Rams because they don't lose to the Rams. They smash the Cardinals. And then, of course, they beat the Cowboys. They lose to us. They beat the crap out of Kirk Cousins. And then they have their bye week after beating the Bengals. They beat the Jaguars on the road. They beat the Bucs. They lose to the Seahawks because they've always given them trouble. They lose to the Eagles. They beat the Seahawks. And then for some reason, Kyler Murray comes back and they lose to the freaking Niners. They lose to the Cardinals. And then at the end of the year, they beat the Rams again. So they go 13-4 this year. Yeah. Niner fans, I have you guys going 13-4. How about that, huh? Yeah. Then we have the only other team from the division essentially to make the playoffs. We have the Seahawks. Seahawks and Rams week 1. Rams going to win that one, I think. Barely, but I think the Rams squeak it out. So I have them finish, starting off 1-2 on 1-4. But then, they rattled off a couple wins. Then they lose to the Ravens. They beat the Commanders. They beat the Rams on the road. They kind of essentially beat each other, but I have them beating them on the road. Then they rattle off a couple more wins. They lose to the Niners. They lose to the Titans. And then they beat the Cardinals to end the year. So they go 10-7. Wow. 10-7 to start. 10-7 with Geno Smith. I think Njigba has a big year. K9 goes crazy. And their defense is very solid. Now we go to 2 of the arguably worst teams. Well, not the worst teams, but yeah. The Rams are going to be very good this year, I don't think. I think they actually beat the Colts. They will. I don't know. When's Kyler going to be back? I think he's on the PUP list, so he could be back by this time. I still think he'll be kind of sluggish. Aaron Donald will eat him alive. They lose to the Steelers, lose to the Cowboys. They beat the Packers on the road. And then by this time, Kyler will be back. They lose there. And then they beat the Saints at home on Thursday night. They go 7-10. That's not too bad, considering, they're going to have a drop off, I think. That's the vibe around that team. They're not going to be that great this year, especially with uncertainty around Stafford. How is he going to be? How healthy is he going to be? Then we have the worst team in the league. I already have them at 2-12. Actually, they can beat the Falcons, but lose to the Texans. And then lose to the Bears. 3-14. Ouch. Can somebody say not Kyler. Can somebody say Caleb Williams? Oh, man. Like I said earlier, they're going to have freaking Josh Dobbs possibly starting games for them. If they manage to win a game with Josh Dobbs, I will be shocked. I'd be surprised. I actually don't have them getting their first win until week 10. Ouch. Of course, by that time, Kyler will be back. But like I've said, Kyler's probably not going to be as eager to run around. That's usually how quarterbacks that are coming off an ACL are. They're scared. He's going to be more of a pocket passer. He's probably going to be careful. Probably not going to be all the way back by the time when we face them. If it was Kyler, I wouldn't even play this year. I would take the whole year, fully rehab, get ready for next year. Because your team is ass. I'm not playing with that squad. Hell no. I would just say, I'm going to rehab my ACL for the entire year. Besides, I'm not going to be your quarterback next year anyway. I know you only trying to win games. Why should I even play? I mean, for real. So I have them going 3-14. Arguably the worst team in the league. All right, now let's hop back over to the AFC. We are going to go to the AFC East. Yep. Let's go to the AFC East now. So we're going to start off with the Buffalo Bills. They face Aaron Rodgers week 1. I think this is going to be a banger. Monday Night Football. Oh, yeah. Cannot wait for this one. But I have Aaron Rodgers winning. Starting off his tenure as a Jet with a dub. As you can see, they win 2 straight. They beat the Dolphins. And then, for some reason, they lose to the Jaguars on the road. And then they beat the Giants. They beat the Pats. And then they beat the Bucks. Then they beat the Jets back down week 11. And then all the way down week 17, they lose to the Pats. And actually, no, they beat the Pats. And then they lose to the Dolphins. Because by that time, they're sitting at 11-6. I think they low-key resting starters. And, yeah. Now we go to the team that finished second. The Dolphins. Right? Dolphins finished second, right? Let me check. Yeah, Dolphins actually finished second. I forgot they made the playoffs. I literally forgot they did. I was like, wait a minute. They made the playoffs this year, but they lost. That's tough. I think they had a backup quarterback, didn't they? That's right, because Tua had mush brain. That's right. He was like still going after that concussion. So as you see, I have them starting off 0-1. They beat the Patriots. No, actually, no, they lose to the Patriots on the road. Then they just keep doing a win-lose thing for a couple weeks. They beat Bryce Young, lose to the Eagles. They beat the Patriots at home. They lose. Then they lose to Aaron Rodgers. They beat the Commanders. Beat the Titans. They beat Aaron Rodgers. Just when it looks like they're getting a good thing going, they won 3 straight. They lose to the Cowboys, lose to the Ravens, and then they beat the Bills at the end of the year. So they go 8-9 this year. Ouch. Yeah, I think they're going to be all right. But again, it could go either way. They could beat the Raiders. They could easily beat they could lose to the Commanders. They could beat the Jets. Beat the Titans. They could lose to the Titans and then they could beat the Ravens. You never know. It's the beauty of it. You never know. So I have them going 8-9. And And then we go to, I believe it is the Patriots. They went 8-9 last year. Now this year, as you can already tell, I have them at 1-12. Ouch! I really have them at 1-12 this start of the year. Oh my god, yeah, I don't think they're going to be that good this year, as you could tell. But I think this results in them getting an actual better quarterback than Mac Jones. I think they beat the Jets because they don't lose to the Jets, no matter how hard they try. They will beat the Saints somehow. Beat the Colts in Germany, because the Colts are not going to be good either. And then they will beat the Jets at the end of the year. So they sweep the Jets with Aaron Rodgers. No, yeah, they sweep the Jets with Aaron Rodgers. Actually, no, I'm going to have them splitting. Yeah, there we go. Have them splitting there. So, yeah, I have them going 4-13. I know. It's a prediction. It's only a prediction. They're probably going to win about 7-8 games. But just because the schedule, again, I think they will somehow lose 4. They're going to lose 13 games. Mac Jones is not going to be that good this year, and they don't win a game on the road. I just realized that. Damn. Oh, that's tough. I think they'll win a couple games on the road, honestly. If I had to be real, though, I think I'm going to probably change a couple of these. Not going to lie. I think they beat the Commanders at home. They're going to beat somebody on the road. I think they beat the Jets on the road somehow. And then, yeah. So they win 1 game on the road. Oh my God. I'm so sorry, Patriots fans. Again, this is just a prediction. They go 6-11 this year. Yeah. They go 6-11. Again, they could easily get swept by the Jets because that's how the Jets are, especially with Aaron Rodgers, Actually, yeah, I think that's how it's going to be. Yeah. I think they split. Yeah, they'll split with the Jets. They'll win at home. So they go overall 5-12. Not very good. You win 1 game on the road. Oh, no, you don't win on the road, actually. Ouch. Actually, you know what? I'll change that again. I'm going to have them beating the Raiders. They're going to get that revenge because they should have beat them last year, remember. But they derped at the absolute worst time. They're going to beat Jimmy G. Yeah, they're going to beat Jimmy G. And then I'm actually going to have them... well, no, they're going to lose to the Dolphins on the road because they always do. And then, yeah. So they win 1 game on the road. Ouch. But they're 5-4 at home, though. They go 6-11 overall. So, yeah, there you go. Takes a win also from the Commanders, who are now 3-14. Let me change their record around. Let me change their Commanders' record around a little bit. That just seems too not Commander-ish. I think they beat the Cardinals. They lose. Obviously, I think they actually squeak one out against the Bears. Yeah, they beat They beat them, so they go 4-13. Yeah, so I think they actually beat the Seahawks too. Yeah, they're gonna beat the Seahawks. Seahawks will go 9-8. Okay, that's not too bad. Sounds more legit for them. They lose to the Dolphins at home. They lose to the Rams. I think they'll actually beat the Rams. They'll be 6-11. Okay. I think that sounds about right. Yeah, 6-11 sounds right for the Commanders. Sounds more Commander-ish. Yeah. All right, so back to the regularly scheduled programming. We go to the Jets here. Yeah, we end off the NFC East with the Jets. As you can see, I have them starting off 4-0. They lose to the Broncos. They lose to the Eagles. They beat the Giants, beat the Chargers, beat the Raiders, lose to the Bills, beat the Dolphins, beat the Falcons, then beat the Texans. They go 12-5. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have a new AFC East champ. And I'm sure Jets fans everywhere will be throwing parties. And by the way, too, if you realize, something man of destruction. Both New York teams make the playoffs. Like literally, New York will have 3 teams in the playoffs. How about that? Technically, New York. New Jersey, New York will have 3 teams. New York will just have 1, the Bills, because they play in mainland New York, the actual state, not the island. No, actually, no, not even that. The Jets and Giants play in Jersey. So yeah, the whole Northeast region is going to be well represented in the playoffs, according to me. So now, let's get on to the NFC South. I think we're going to enter the South divisions. Yeah. We're going to go NFC North, right? No, because the NFC North lost in the first round. That's right. Yeah. NFC South also lost in the first round. They had the Bucks. They got stomped. That's right. Yeah. So we're going to go AFC South. We're going to go start off with the Jaguars. They face the Colts. Colts can't beat them to save their lives. They have the Texans. I'm sure CJ's going to give them trouble, but they rebound there. They face Ritter in London. They win there. Then they will beat the Colts again, lose to the Saints, beat the Steelers, lose to the Niners, beat the Titans. Then they're going to lose to the Texans. CJ Stroud's going to do his thing. They beat, they lose, win. They win there against the Panthers, end the season beating the Titans again. They go 12-5 this year. 5-1 in the division. Damn good. Now we go to the Tennessee Titans. And by the way, that puts the Jags at #1 seed. Wow. Who would have thought? Saints, Titans. Titans win against the Saints. I think that'll be a very close game. Colts, give me the Titans there. Titans over the Falcons. Titans over the Bucks. Panthers and Titans. I'm actually going to go Panthers. Colts going to get their lick back against the Titans on the road. And I think Texans the same thing. Because by that time, the rookie quarterbacks will be they'll be fully incorporated into the NFL. Titans get that revenge on the road, and then they lose. So yeah. Then we have the Texans and the Colts. Obviously, the Colts, I think, were a better team, if I'm not mistaken. Let me check. Yeah, Colts were 4-12. 1 win better. So Colts, already I have them at 1 win. They lose to the Texans on the road. In fact, I don't have them winning a game until they beat Bryce Young. Ouch. Actually, no, I have them beating the Saints somehow, too. Yeah. Because if Jonathan Taylor plays, he'll be back by then. This is all based off of Jonathan Taylor, pretty much. But I think Anthony Richards, I think a lot of these games would be close. But I have them beating the Saints at home, beating the Panthers, losing to the Patriots, beating the Bucks because they stink. And then they will beat the Falcons. And then at the end of the year, they're going to beat the Texans. So they go 6-11. Texans! As you can see, I don't have them being that good either. They're going to actually lose to the Falcons and then beat the Saints. Then we have a matchup here. Bryce Young versus CJ Stroud. Rematch of 2020, I believe, right? No, that was Mac Jones. Duh. So, yeah, Mac Jones. No, not Mac Jones. CJ versus Bryce. I'm going to go with Texans over the Panthers. Then they beat the Bucks because, again, the Bucks stink. Baker Mayfield's ass. He's been ass ever since he hurt his shoulder. Yeah. I think the Bucks will win some games, but they're not going to be overall good this year, as you can imagine. They're like in a transition year almost. They're probably going to get a better quarterback in the draft or something. What about Trask? I don't trust him. So as you can see, I have them at 7-10. So overall, not bad. Not a bad time for the Texans. And again, they are right up there with the Titans. I think they'll be much better with CJ Stroud. And of course, DeMeco Ryans as their coach. Seems like they have something good going. But yeah, I have them going fun. Very fun. So as you can see, Jags and Jets are the top 2 seeds. Who would have thought? Oh my God, the AFC is looking weird. I mean, literally, I just realized all top 4 seeds have the same record. But that's how it could be, right? Yeah. I think the Chiefs take a little dip, and the Jets and the Jags they'll be really good this year. Now we go to the NFC side. We end up with the NFC North and the NFC South. NFC North had the Vikings, who were very good last year. I have them beating the Bucks, losing, winning, losing. They beat the Bears. They lose to the Niners. They will beat the Packers, beat the Falcons, beat the Saints. They're 7-6. Lose to the Bears on the road. Lose to the Bears at home, excuse me. And then at the end of the year, they will beat the Lions, lose to the Packers, and then lose to the Lions. They will go 8-9 this year, according to me. Surely these predictions are definitely not coming true, so yeah. Now we go to the second best team, the Lions, who should have been a playoff team last year. But they folded at the worst time. I have them losing to the Chiefs, beating the Seahawks. They win there. They will actually beat the Packers, beat the Panthers, beat the Bucks, and they're 9-4. Like they've already clinched a winning record. This is crazy. It's madness. They will beat the Bears, lose to the Packers, lose to the Saints, lose to the Bears. They're 10-7. Ouch. And yeah, so 10-7 for the Lions. And they're in the playoffs for the first time in a while. With Jared Goff and that squad too. I think J-Mo should be back by then too. So he'll be around just in time. Coming in third place, I believe, was the Packers, right? Yeah, the Packers were in third. Yeah. Packers were in third, and then the Bears rounded it out. So Packers, 2-9. Ouch. I have them actually beating. Well, they faced the Bears week 1. Bears are going to win that one. And then the Packers rattle off 2 straight wins over NFC South teams. They lose. They lose to the Lions. They lose to the Raiders. They lose to the Broncos. They lose to the Vikings and the Rams. They lose to the Steelers. They lose to the Chargers, and then they finally win again against the Lions. Lose, win, and then they lose week 18 to go 6-11 with Jordan Love. And then we round it out with the Bears. They beat the Packers, they beat the Bucks, lose to the Chiefs, lose to the Broncos, lose to the Commanders, lose to the freaking Vikings. They beat the Raiders, beat the Chargers. I'll have them beat the Saints. Then they lose a bad game to the Panthers because Bryce Young clutches up. They lose to the Lions. They beat the Vikings. And then they lose to the Browns. They beat the Lions, lose to the Browns, beat the Cardinals, beat the Falcons, and then beat the Packers. So they go 10-7. That has them as the 3rd seed. Did I have them beating the Lions twice? No, I had them splitting. Okay. Yeah, splitting with the Lions. So how about that? I mean, they're actually a good team this year, too. If Justin Fields takes that leap with DJ Moore and company, they will be very good, I feel like. I got good faith in the Bears. By the way, you notice how they have the bear logo as their main logo now? I like that. I mean, the toilet bowl C is nice, but I'm glad they went with the actual bear logo as their main logo. I kind of wish we would do that with the elf or the dog. Or not the new dog, the old dog. I think it'd be cool if we had like the Heisman elf as our actual logo, but some people don't like that logo. Honestly, if we were gonna go elf, I want the proud elf. You know, the one that's all like, yeah, I'm that dude. The Heisman one's not too bad. That one's retro. I want the modern one. Haha. The modern elf. The one with his arms at his hips, like, yeah! That one is badass. But I like the Heisman one. By the way, I didn't mention this, I don't think, before, but the elf is back at the 50-yard line for at Brown Stadium, not the dog. Oh, so you mean you don't like the dog logo, but you said on Twitter that you liked it? I liked it, but it's not. It's good for merch. I don't think that would look good on the field. It doesn't look like a field logo. It looks like a merch logo. You know. Oh well. So yeah, I have them going 10-7 and tying and making the playoffs. Now we go to the NFC South, the final division of this video. I have been going now for about an hour. What's up, Jacob? I did the AFC North already. And as you can see, I have the Steelers going 9-8 again and being in last. I have the AFC. I have Ohio repping hard in the AFC playoffs. So that'll be fun. But yeah, NFC South, of course, was won by the Bucs. Fraudulent ass team. They're not going to be good this year. I think they beat the Saints somehow. They will beat the Falcons. And they will beat the Panthers. They will lose to the Falcons. And then they will beat the Saints at home. And then beat the Panthers on the road. So, actually, no, I'm going to have them lose to the Panthers on the road. Yeah, they already beat them. I'm going to have them splitting. They're going to go 4-2 in their division. Because their division just is not good overall. I think Baker will win them a couple games on his own with Godwin and Evans and them. But overall, that team is not good at all. Their division is... it's mostly rookies, Derek Carr and Baker Mayfield. Like, what kind of a division is that? Oh my God, that division stinks! Now we go to the number 2 seed, number 2 team in the NFC South last year, being the Panthers, who honestly should have been in the playoffs. Yeah. As you can see, I have them at 3-10. I think they beat the Falcons. They will beat the Saints. Then they will lose like a ton of games. They will lose to the Lions, Dolphins, Texans, Colts. I know they actually lose to the Colts. Imagine that. Actually, no, I'm gonna have them beating the Colts. Yeah, I'm gonna have them beating the Colts. Yeah, okay, there we go. Then they beat the Bears, lose to the Cowboys, they beat the Titans, they lose to the Bucs somehow. Then they will lose to the Saints. They will beat the Falcons. No. Well, I'll have them lose to the Falcons week 15. Lose to the Packers, lose to the Jags, and then beat the Bucs at the end of the year. So they go 6-11. How bad is it that I just started and 6-11 has them in the playoffs? But of course, the other teams are ass. Saints, they will beat the Falcons. Actually, I have them sweeping the Falcons. They go 6-11 too. Ouch. I mean, let's see. Is there any games that I should change here? Because it could go either way. I actually have them beating the Colts. Yeah, there we go. Beating the Colts there. And then they will actually beat the Texans. Okay. Actually, you know what? Because, no, he won't be back yet. Yeah, that sounds about right. They're going to go 8-9. Yeah, they're going to go 8-9 this year. And then, yeah, that's it. Falcons, obviously, I didn't even touch them, and their schedule's already done. They're going to go 3-14. They're going to be bad, in my opinion. They have a nice roster, but they're going to have some bad luck this year. They're going to be bad. Sorry, not sorry. I don't even hate the Falcons. It's just their team is not that great. They have some nice pieces, but as a whole, I don't think they're going to be that good. The people that prove me wrong. That's the beauty of predictions. Prove me wrong. So, that's pretty much it for my predictions, guys. So let's have some fun here. Let's see if I can find the playoffs. Do we have a playoff bracket? Let's go wild card round. So in the wild card round, guys, this is what we would get. Chiefs, Browns again. Of course. Broncos, Bengals. Ooh. Russell Wilson versus Joe Burrow. Ooh. Jets and Ravens. Oh my God, bro. Lions, Saints, Giants, Bears, and Cowboys, Niners. Hey! All right, so let's go. I think we actually. Oh, damn, that's tough. Let's go Bengals over Broncos, Jets over Ravens. I don't know who the heck to pick the freaking Browns and Chiefs. Are we really going to lose to the Chiefs again in the playoffs? I'll actually have. I think we get it done. Not even being a homer. I think we beat them. We have enough to beat them. I think Deshaun does Deshaun things. Lions will actually win a playoff game. Giants against Bears. Giants will beat the Bears. Niners will beat the Cowboys. Okay, let's move on to the divisional round. Browns, Jaguars, and Chiefs, Bengals. Oh my God, what is this? Yeah, I'm gonna go Aaron Rodgers over the Bengals. Oh man, imagine. And then I'm actually gonna go Browns over the Jags. Niners, and we get Eagles. We get a rematch of last year. Again, this is just me having fun. Jets and Browns. For all my old heads out there, you remember Jets Browns 1987. That game was nuts. Bernie Kosar led the Browns on a massive comeback. My dad was actually at that game. Browns fans had left already. They were like, yeah, we're done. But the Browns came back and won on a freaking game-winning field goal. And then Niners and Eagles, because of course. So, I got the Eagles beating them again. And we get Browns-Eagles in the Super Bowl. Ah! I guess my inner homer did come out. And then, of course, Browns win the Super Bowl. Ah! Again, this is just, being a troll, I'm not going to do playoff predictions this early because we're talking, the season hasn't even started yet. So really don't even take those with a grain of salt. Literally. Don't even pay attention to those. Ooh, wow. So TJ Hawkinson just got extended. Dolphins placed Jalen Ramsey and Jeff Wilson Jr. on injured reserve. Signed Justin Bethel, Tyler Croft, and Perry Nickerson. Matthew Wright to the Niners. So yeah, if any Niners fans are watching, wow, Gil Brandt passed away? Oh man, dude. Wow. But Niners signed Matthew Wright. And still the Eagles don't have a kicker. I mean a punter. They still gotta find a punter. But TJ Hawkinson just extended in Minnesota. I don't remember when that trade happened. I was actually at the library. And yeah. That trade happened. I was like, what? But yeah, TJ Hawkinson extended. I heard that was going to happen. So let me know what you guys think of my predictions down in the comments down below. Again, these are just predictions. They're probably not going to come true. And after the season's over, I will come back to this and we will see how I did. I'm probably going to be way off on some of these. I always am. If I had to predict which one I'm going to be way off on, it's probably going to be like the Commanders or, the Seahawks or something. Like, I predict the freaking Rams to win 6 games. Watch them, win, 10 or 11. Because, of course, they would. We'll see how Matthew Stafford does. So, with that being said, guys, I'm going to wrap this up. Shout out to everybody who watched this entire thing for the full hour 20. I will see you all Well, today is Thursday, so I'll see you all Saturday for Buckeyes and Hoosiers. Now, from what I understand, Fox is actually in a little disagreement with Nexstar. So, from what I understand, I don't think CBS is even available on my TV right now. Yeah, it's not. So, wow. I'm most likely going to have to possibly stream the game on my computer. Just when I thought I was done with that. Oh well, it's better than not streaming it at all, I guess. Have to see if that happens, but with that being said, guys, I'm gonna wrap this up. And shout out to everyone who came through. And I will see you all Saturday. And then, guys, guess what? Week from today, football. Yeah. Football! Yeah! NFL kicks off a week from tonight. Lions, Chiefs. I am all the way here for it. I need it. I need it. But yeah, if the Browns make any other moves, which they might, I don't know. Knowing Andrew Berry, he could always pull the trigger on something at any moment. If he does anything else, I'll make a video on it. But that's pretty much going to wrap it up for this one, guys. I'm Crazy Dog. Let's go Browns. Hope you enjoyed my predictions. Let me know in the comments. I'm sure I'm going to get bookmarked and, receipted like I always usually do. You had the freaking Browns at whatever record. You had the Browns at 11-6. Watch them go 7-10. That's better than what I had them last year. I think I had them at 13-4 or something last year. Keep in mind, this is with a full season of Deshaun. See how it goes. But with that being said, I'm Crazy Dog. Let's go Browns. I'll see you guys on Saturday for Buckeyes and Hoosiers.